Guruji, you are muted.
Not audible.
Sah virjam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Arjuna Uvacha.
Can I pass it to the next one, please?
Sure. Yeah, Sukanyaji. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Evam Satata Yuktaye.
Evam Satayutta Yuktaye.
Bhaktastvām paryupāsate.
Bhaktastvām paryupāsate.
Ye chāpyaksharam avyaktam.
Ye chāpyaksharam avyaktam.
Teshām ke yoga vittamāha.
Teshām ke yoga vittamāha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam.
Maya Veshyamano Ye Mam.
Nitya Yukta Upasate.
Nitya Yukta Upasate.
Shraddhaya Parayopetaha.
Shraddhaya Parayopetaha.
Te me Yuktatamamataha.
Te me Yuktatamamataha.
Ye Tvaksharamanirdesyam.
Ye Tvaksharama Nirdeshyam.
Avyaktam Paryupasate.
Avyaktam Paryupasate.
Sarvatra Gamachintyam cha.
Sarvatra Gamachintyam cha.
Kutastamachalam dhruvam.
Kutastham Achalam Dhruvam.
Niyamyendriyakramam.
Sanniyam Mendriya Gramam.
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha.
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha.
Te prapnuvanti mameva.
Te prapnuvanti mameva.
Sarvabhutahite rataha.
Sarvabhuta hite rathaha.
Kleshodhikatarastesham.
Kleshodhikata. Kleshodhikatarastesham.
Avyakta sakta chetasam.
Avyakta sakta chetasam.
Avyakta hi gatir dukkham.
Avyakta hi gatir dukkham.
Dehavadbhiravapyate.
Dehavadbhiravapyate.
So we were looking at the third shloka, which is Krishna's response to Arjuna's question about comparing two types of upasakaha, upasakau. And the two types are what? Saguna Brahma upasakaha versus Nirguna Brahma upasaka. This is the question that Arjuna has. And so in the shloka number 2, he said that the Saguna Brahma upasakaha, in this case, Vishwarupa upasakaha, because we just came out of chapter 11, are superior, are to be considered superior. And then in the third and the fourth, okay, he will tell that the Nirguna Brahma upasakaha, they reach me. That is what he's going to say. Okay. The reaching part is going to come in the fourth shloka. So we were doing the third. Third and fourth is in one sentence. Okay. And so, yetu paryupasate. Yetu aksharam paryupasate. On the other hand, those who worship, those who do upasanam of aksharam Brahma, okay, aksharam Brahma means nirgunam Brahma, okay, which is what you asked, okay, you only asked, hey Arjuna, ye chapyaksharam avyaktam. You asked me that question. So he used the same word. Krishna used the same word that Arjuna uses. Aksharam avyaktam paryupasate. And that aksharam which is sarvatragam, sarvatragam, all pervasive, achintyam. So there was this question last time. This is typical of this Brahma Vidya. Achintyam means not thinkable, not objectifiable. You can't grasp something and say, yeah, that is Brahma. You can't say that. Why? Because when you say that is Brahma, that is an object, correct? It's an object of my perception, of my thought at least. And the minute I say it's an object of my thought, that object becomes finite, correct? Only a finite entity can be objectified by our sense organs and our mind also. That is one reasoning why Brahma cannot be that Brahma. I know that Brahma cannot be said. Another reason is that Brahma is this Atma. Okay, this Atma, correct? And this Atma, why can't I say I know this Atma? I thought this is Atma Vidya. This is Brahma Vidya, means Vidya of Brahma. Atma Vidya means Vidya of Atma, knowledge of Atma. And on the one hand, you're saying Achintyam, and on the other hand, you're saying Atma Vidya. It is contradictory, my dear friend. Yeah, that is the beauty of this subject. And so the subject cannot objectify the subject. Atma is the subject. And so not possible at all. So in English, they have a word, self-reflexive. Well, there is a word, another word that it's not coming to me. Well, leave it at that, self-reflexive.
Luminant.
Huh?
Self-luminant.
The self-luminant is okay. That is saprakasha. I'm talking about self-reflection. The self referring to the self, okay, is not possible. The self cannot refer to the self. The self, can refer to self in language, but the self cannot objectify this. The eyes are able to see so many things in this world, but the poor eye says, I want to see myself. I want to see my eyes. I can't see. Okay, here's a mirror. Take a look. At least that possibility is there for the eyes. On a mirror, the eyes can see. Yeah, okay, is that my eye? Is that me? Yes, that is you. Okay. Does that mean that two things? Why two things? One thing I thought, no, you are actually two things, And so Oh, really? Okay, at least that much we can do with the eyes. But Atma, the only mirror is Shastra. Shastra is Darpanam. So therefore, Achintyam, still you can call it Atma Vidya. That the Vidya of that which is Achintyam is Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. Okay, that is just something to be noted. And that is why Kena Upanishad uses these words quite a bit actually.
Shrotrasya Shrotram.
Correct. Shrotrasya Shrotram. That is okay. Then Yat Chakshusha na Drishyate. That which cannot be seen by the eyes, but that by which the eyes are able to see. Yena Ahur. So there is a particular verse, I'm not getting it. Then likewise, mind. Yen manasana manute yena ahur mano matam.
यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुषीयं पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदु उपासते यच्छ्रोत्रेण न शृणोति
Yat Shrotrena na Shrunoti yena
श्रोत्रमिदं श्रुतं
Shrotram idam Shrutam. So that by which what the ears are able to hear, but that which the ears cannot hear. Then manasanu manute, that which cannot be objectified by the mind. Yet, yenahur manomatam, hey, that by which the mind is able to do whatever it is able. Like that, you have many statements in Kena Upanishad. There is a big list. Okay, same thing here. Achintyam. That one we can refer to those shlokas. Then Tastham, Achalam. Okay. Okay, let's look at Achalam. Let's look at Achalam. Today is International Yoga Day, so they are celebrating here. They're going to honor our yoga teacher and things like that. So I was wondering where these drums, beautiful drums, are coming from. So that's what it is. So Achalam. Okay, Achalam. Obviously, Achalam means what? That which is not movable. That which cannot move is Achalam. And this Atma, Brahma cannot move. But Sri Krishna can move. He can go from place to place. Okay, he kept on going between Pandava's home and Kaurava's home. And Pandava's Kaurava, poor Krishna, this is the only job he had in Mahabharata. You know, an initial dance drama and all over. Afterwards, constant, like a postman, he kept on going. And finally, he went from Mathura to Dwarka. Correct? All that can be done. Mathura is somewhere else in UP. Dwarka is somewhere else in Gujarat. And so 1,000 plus kilometers. The long distance. And so Krishna can move. Krishna is Chalam. But not the Swarupa of Krishna. Rama also can go from place to place. In fact, nobody traveled as far as Rama has done. Right? Starting from Ayodhya. They have tracked all these things. Ayodhya. Then he went to Prayagraj for some time. Then Rama, Sita and Lakshmana went to this one, Chitrakoot, in the border of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Beautiful place. And then they went to this Nashik in Maharashtra, which is where they stayed also a good bit of time. And that is where this Sita Apaharan happened in Nashik. Panchavati, that's the word I'm looking for. Panchavati is Nashik, correct? Then Dandakaranya in Chhattisgarh. Then Lipakshi in Andhra Pradesh, which is a famous story of Jatayu. So look at all the way he has come from Ayodhya. Where is Ayodhya? And where is this Andhra Pradesh here, Lipakshi? Then he makes a turn, comes to Kishkinda, Karnataka. Okay, Kishkinda. Then it comes
Shyamukha.
further south to Rameshwaram. Then Rameshwaram, of course, from there to and Trikuti and all they say, Trikuti, Ashokavana, Patika, etc. You know the entire chain. So Chalam, Rama is Chalam. Saguna Brahma is finite, therefore Chalam. Okay. But Nirgunam Brahma cannot be Chalam, Achalam, because Sarvatragam, therefore Achalam, right? These things we know. And so this Sarvatragam and Achalam together are telling us that Brahma is not subject to space. Space means what? Desha. So this Desha Titatvam, transcending space, if you will, not subject to space. Why? Because infinite, whole, and therefore space itself is sustained by Brahma. Space does not sustain Brahma. Okay, that's to be kept in mind. So then what? Then Kutastham, another word Bhagavan uses to refer to Nirgunam Brahma. Kutastham. So we saw this word earlier. So Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samaloshtasma Kanchana. It comes somewhere in one of the chapters. It comes 6th chapter probably. So we saw the word Kutastha there. Kutastha means Nirvikara, unchanging, not subject to change. Okay, that is the meaning of Kutastha. Kuta, the immediate meaning of Kuta is anvil. Anvil. There is a particular instrument the blacksmith and the goldsmith uses. Okay, if you Google anvil, if you have not seen it, some people like us, we have,
Even the Mochi uses like that.
People like us have done what is called workshop, and even we did our engineering. And so there, for several months, you are supposed to go to every different engineering workshop, it's called, and smithy, it's called, and then electronics, and then carpentry. So we used to do all these things. So at least for a couple of months, we got exposed to all. Then machine, lathe, we worked on a lathe. So it gave a good overview of some typical engineering activities. Let's put it that way. Okay. And so this anvil, so there is a furnace, okay, and you're supposed to heat this crude metallic rod until it becomes red hot. Okay, already Madras is red hot. On top of that, you have to stand in front of a furnace and then make this thing red hot, and it's a lot of fun, right? So then you have to bring that metallic rod, holding with your left hand or with your less prominent hand, and then with the dominant hand, this left hand is placed, the red hot is placed on a big metallic stand. That stand is called anvil. Okay, and you're supposed to hit it until it becomes a particular shape. They tell you have to make it a cylindrical, not cylindrical, this square cross-section bar. You have to make a bar out of from this thing. So you have to beat it on 4 edges. And then you have to make it into a square block, square, at least long rod, square rod. And that bottom, that thing is called anvil. Because it's going to get beaten, and the anvil cannot shake. The shaking anvil is not an anvil. Okay, it's fixed and it can't move. Even a millimeter, it can't move. And then it has some other shapes and all, where if you want to bend the rod, then you can hit and bend it. So there's a conical portion of the anvil and so forth. Anyway, that anvil is called Kuta. And Kutastaha means what? Kutavat tishtati. Brahma is unchanging like this anvil. A-N-V-I-L. That's a spelling, English spelling. So, Kutavat, like the Kuta. Brahma is like the Kuta, just unmoving. Something, it's an example, right? Something that we see in our life, that does not move, okay? And that does not change. And so, we are also beaten up in life. They say, if you hear my story, then you will become sad. Like that, they say, some people say, okay, fine. So all of us have gone through various experiences, good, bad, and ugly. And pressing moments have been there, traumatic moments have been there. Nobody is immune to that. Nobody means nobody. And so, the anvil got beaten up. But guess what? The anvil hasn't changed even one bit in the process. And likewise, even though I am beaten up, still my Swarupa, Atma is who I am. And that I cannot be beaten up. Why? That is Kutastha. That is anvil. And then there is one more meaning for Kuta. Kuta means false, deluding, not quite true. That is the meaning of Kuta. So, referring to this Jagat, referring to Maya, okay, what you see is not quite what you see, okay, not quite. Don't take it, just at least put a pause and say, is this real? At least give some room to ask the question, is this real? And so that is called Kuta. And so Kute Tishtati, that which sustains this world, that which sustains Maya, that which supports Maya herself, is that Nirgunam Brahma. Okay, Kute Tishtati, that is the second meaning. Kute means in the Kuta, in the Jagat, in what you see as Maya, in that. Okay, that is one meaning. Second meaning. Then another meaning Swamiji gives. Kuta means Rashi. Rashi, this Mithuna Rashi, Meena Rashi, Rishabha Rashi, all that Rashi. Rashi means a particular constellation, a particular configuration of stars, okay? Or sometimes a star itself. And stars are stationary. They knew those days stars are stationary, and therefore you can measure the movement of the earth with respect to a stationary object. And there are many stationary objects like Dhruva Nakshatra, etc. is also there. But Rashi means a constellation. And so, Kutavat, just like the constellation is stationary, even though I seem to be moving, rotating, revolving, all these things are happening, still Brahma is Kutavat, Rashivat, like that Rashi, stationary, unchanging, Nirvikara. The final meaning is what? Of Kutastha means Nirvikara. That is the final meaning. Not subject to change. That's the meaning. Okay? And like what? Like the gold in the ornaments, like the clay in the pots. Correct? Nirvikara. It doesn't change. Before the pot was formed, clay was clay. When the pot is there right in front of me, clay is still clay. After the pot goes away also, clay will still be clay, unchanged. Okay. So, then Dhruvam. Dhruvam means Nityam, eternal. Better way to understand Nityam is not subject to time. That is Nityam, not subject to time. Because we don't know anything eternal. The problem with the word eternal is, what is the problem? The problem is we don't know there is nothing in this world that is eternal. There is nothing. Everything we know is non-eternal, impermanent. So eternal means permanent. Permanent means not subject to time. Therefore, the words Kutastha and Dhruvam refer to not being subject to time, because unchanging, and then Nityam, not subject to time, eternal. Both refer to this eternality. Kala Atitatvam, Kala Titaha, Nirguna Brahma Kala Titaha. So we have Deshatitaha and Kala Titaha. Correct? So this Narayaniam is there. Swamiji quotes this mantra. There also this first verse, first line. So that is Tandra Nandava Makamanupamitam Kala Deshavadibhyam Nirmuktam, like that you have Nitya Muktam. So Kala Desha Avadibhyam Nirmuktam. Swami Paramartha reminds us of Narayaniam. Narayaniam is a text written by Narayana Bhattatri or Narayana Bhatta of Kerala. And he summarizes the entire Bhagavatam, okay, in a much smaller text. And so very popular, very, very popular in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And they will chant Narayaniyam like they chant Vishnu Sahasranamam or other Lalita Sahasranamam, etc. So that first line, he says, you are who? Kala Desha Avadhibhyam Nirmuktam. Avadhi means limitation. You are free from the limitations of Kala and Desha. Correct? You are free from the limitations of time and space. Only Advaita Vedanta can talk like this. And physicists would love to get to that point. But this is what it is. This is what Krishna is talking about in the Bhagavad Gita. And so he's talking about Yetu, those people who do upasanam of Nirgunam Brahma. What about them? That what about them is going to come in the next shloka. And so we will translate this shloka number 3 along with number 4 after we complete 4. Okay. So let us chant this 4th shloka. Yeah, Sunita Chivendra. Sanniyamyendriyagramam
Sanniyamendriyagramam
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha
Te Prapnuvanti Mameva
Ye Prapnuvanti Mameva
Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha
Sarvabhuta Hite Rathaha
Sanniyamyendriyagramam
Sanniyamendriyagramam
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha
Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha
Te Prapnuvanti Mameva
Ye Prapnuvanti Mameva
Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha.
Sarvabhuta Hite Rathaha.
Yeah. Previous shloka talked about that commitment that these Akshara Brahma Upasakas have, which is Aksharam Brahm. That is a commitment. My goal is to somehow target this Aksharam Brahma, the non-targetable, correct? Achintyam Brahma, that I am somehow going to go after it, even though it is Achintyam. Okay, that Aksharam was described in the previous shloka. In this shloka is a continuation of that. And here, briefly, the disciplines that are needed for something like this is given by the word Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam. That one word is all, describes the discipline. And then there are 2 other phrases, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha and Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. These 2 describe their disposition towards the world. Okay. And then he's going to say, Te Prapnuvanti Mame. They gain me. That's what he's going to say. Okay. So we'll look at these words. So Sanniyam Medriya Gra. So qualifications. What are the qualifications required for such a Akshara Brahma Upasaka? See, Saguna Brahma Upasaka. dharma, dharma, shraddha. These are all the qualifications. For a karma yogi, Ishvara, arpana buddhi, prasada buddhi, all these things are there for a karma yogi. But does not need, can go with Ishta Devata and Ekarupa Ishvara. Doesn't have a clear idea of Ishvara, correct? Therefore, Vishwarupa Dhyanam need not be there. Still be a karma yogi, correct? Karma yogi. Because Raga Dvesha is there, and I want to be free from the impact of strong Raga Dvesha as binding desires, as Swamiji would call it. And so that person is a karma yogi. But this person is more than that, because that person is going from what? From Ekarupa Ishvaraha to Vishwarupa Ishvaraha to Arupa Ishvara. Aksharam Brahma is Arupa Ishvara, correct? And so in the previous category, you can include Vishwarupa Upasakas also, because that is the previous chapter. Vishwarupa Darshanam was there. And Vishwarupa Ishvara also is a Rupi. Is a Rupi, correct? Rupi means Rupa se asti. Vishwarupa is also Rupa, not Arupa. And so that's the first category. Now he's talking about Akshara Brahma Upasaka. And so clearly these people are not going to be ordinary people. They are people, all right, but not ordinary people. Sanniyamya Indriya Graham. Sanniyamya. They will, Bhagavad Gita, always Krishna will come down to this sense organs. Wherever you go, sense organs are constantly there. And mind, sense organs, mind, sense organs. That's it. So therefore it will be. Bhagavad Gita can't be difficult after some time, because eventually you'll find the same word that you already know. So Indriya Grama. Indriya Grama. One word, he uses one word. Grama. First let's look at Grama. Gramaha. Gramaha means group. Gramaha means group. I wonder if there is a connection between these two words. Gramaha and group. So generally, Gramaha is used to, the word refers to a village. A village is called Grama. And the reason the word village is called Gramaha is, it's where all the group of people in agriculture live. Can you believe this? The group of people means the Samuha, the Samavaya, the Kutumba, the Sanghataha, the people who are into agriculture, they all live in one place, and that place is called a Gramaha. Correct? And so it's group. Essentially, it means that. And so Samavayaha, Sanghataha, Samudayaha, Kamuhaha, Vrindaha, all these, Samhatihi, all these are synonyms for that word Grama. Okay. Now, what kind of group is it? Indriya Grama. That group of people ko chhod do. Come back to the group here. Group of Jnanendriyani, sense organs, 5 sense organs. Group of Karmendriyani, Panipadam, these are all Karmendriyani. Those 5. And then bring in Manaha, bring in Buddhi. Because everything can do mischief and go all over. The human being that's for the freest being. They can do, the human being can destroy, can create, can keep quiet. All 3 are possible. Okay. And whereas animals can't do that. Even though they have sense organs, they have a mind also. But no, despite all the same, the organs we have, they also have. Okay. But somehow they are designed to be in such a way that they are all instinctual living, and they cannot do any more than what they are programmed to do. But the human being is free. Free means completely free. Therefore, the human being only, this statement applies. Indriya Gramam Sanniyamya. Niyamya. Niyam karke. Samyak Niyamya. Samyak niyamya means not fooling oneself. I don't go to movies, but I will eat whatever I want without any, movies and all. No, I don't see any movies, like, these monkeys, they have this. No, I don't see all those things. I don't go out to movies, this, that, etc. I don't. Okay, then what about this one? Or what about the mouth? Tongue is there waiting, constantly. So samyak niyami, understanding that no, there are no, these blind spots are not there. Blind spot, I like that. Blinds, in driving, the rear view mirror is there, in the center there is a rear view mirror. So it's all there, well designed. But even despite these three mirrors, still there are some blind spots. There can be some blind spots. This is where it catches people unaware, And so in the US, I used to see that the mirrors, there's something written on the mirrors. It's called objects in the mirror are closer than they appear to be. That's what is said there. Very interesting. They are closer to you than they appear to be. They appear far away, but no, they are actually much closer. Don't get fooled by this mirror. That's what he says. Beautiful. And then they should also say, there are some things that are very close to you which you cannot see in that mirror. That also they should have said. So you be careful, okay? And so like that, the blind spots, sanniyamya, no blind spots, okay? And so that person, discipline is described. So we know generally adhikaritvam is talked about. Discipline means what? So viveka, discernment, vairagyam, dispassion, shamadamadi shatka sampattihi, which is called discipline. And then fourth one, mumukshutvam, desire for moksha. Okay. And so Swamiji Paramathanandaji talks like this. Okay? He says discernment, dispassion, discipline, desire. 4 Ds he says. And then so you people have seen 3D out there. If you want to see 4D, you have to come to Vedanta. No other place you will see 4D. Okay. At least for a little longer. So that is one thing, right? Next, look at this. Sarvatra samabuddhayaha. See, we should not now, if they were to make a movie of these things, how will they show this Nirguna Brahma Upasaka in the movie? Somebody who's sitting constantly, maybe some beard, and then mostly eyes closed. Okay, mostly. Or always also. This is how they will show in the movie. And then we will think that is literal. We will think that is that our mindset will be like, no, this person, man or woman, they will only show men there in movies. But for us, it can be man, it can be woman. And that person also has to lead a life. That person will get hungry because that person has a stomach. Okay, that person will also have back pain. If he's going to sit like this most of the time, he is definitely going to have back pain. He has to visit a doctor. No, the lower back pain is it's going to be there. Arthritis will come after some time. Everything is going to happen. And people are going to come and see him or her. Because they respect. What to do? People respect such people. And so you can't put a board saying that, no entry. You can't say that. And so now that person has to deal with the world. Exactly like everybody else is dealing with the world. Now the question is, how does that person deal with the world? Well, it means people and things. Deal with the body. Body also the person has to deal with. Problems are there. A person has the capacity to accept things. But accepting things doesn't mean not taking care of the body. Please understand this very well. Accepting things and not taking care of the body means that person is becoming a... The person might say, it's okay, I don't care. But really speaking, for the benefit of humanity, you have to care for yourself, correct? The devotees will say, Swamiji, or hey Karma Yogi, I know you have, these things don't mean anything to you, but for our sake, please take care of your body, right? We will take you to the hospital. We will take you to the doctor. They will say that. And so, therefore, here, look at this. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. First thing, sarvatra. Because all situations, sarvatra means everywhere, literally. But all situations this person faces. That means what? Krishna is indirectly telling us this person is not sitting in a cave somewhere, so he's always in the dark and always sitting there waiting for moksha. No. That is not our definition of moksha anyway. And so, sarvatra, samabuddhaya, that response to situations is one where the mind is composed. Ups and downs, anger, general response is reactions, absence of reactions, which is something to be talked about. And things is very significant. What about pain and anger and all these emotions? The person doesn't have all these things. Well, you should ask this question to Swamiji. When you go to visit ashrams and all, attending classes, this must be, Swamiji, we have a question. We have a question about this Sthita Prajnas and this Akshara Brahma Upasakas. Don't they experience anger? Don't they experience any temporary depression, something? Anxiety, attack? Will they get? You should ask. I doubt if they get anxiety attacks. I really doubt it. Because they are already Karma Yogi himself, herself will not be subject to these things. But maybe temporarily, because this knee-jerk reaction, we are programmed like that for years, ages we've been doing. So that sudden anger may come. Then immediately a smile may come. Why did I get angry? Why did I get angry now? Ahankara is there, sitting behind. You're saying you're Akshara Brahma Yogi, but quietly in the locker there is Ahankara. And the Ahankara decided to come out of the locker. Like that he should tell himself and then smile at the whole situation. And then deal with the situation. It doesn't mean Dharma is still there all over, and deal with the situation exactly like a mature person would deal with the situation. Therefore, sarvatra samabuddhaya, very beautiful word. Means what? That calmness is there. Samabuddhi means not blind to things. Samabuddhi, everything is Brahma, everything is Brahma, everything is Brahma. That is there in the background, that is always there. That is not the Samabuddhi that is being talked about. Sameness in response means you have to respond, but not react. Correct? Samabuddhi can also mean everything is Brahma. Brahma, Padam, Brahma, Havihi, Brahma, Agnav, Brahmana, Ahutam. That is also Samabuddhi only. Correct? Everything is Brahma. Every Karaka is Brahma. Whatever you use is Brahma. What you're looking for is Brahma. What you are is Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Correct. That is also Samabuddhi. Here, Samabuddhi, you bring in, Swamiji brings in that. Sameness of response. Compassion is there. Very interesting. Samabuddhi, look at this. Where the average person might get angry and say, you should get angry with him. You should not allow this to happen. This person's response may be very different. Okay, let's see. Let's show some love for a change and see what happens. And so that person can do something like that, opposite. And in a situation where somebody says, no, you accept this particular thing, this particular Akshara Brahma Yogi might say, you know what? This has to be condemned. You don't have the courage to condemn this. No, we should condemn it because that is part of Dharma. Correct? Look at Samabuddhi, how it manifests. And so, very opposite of how others might respond in situations. So, Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. Okay? And then what? Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Yeah, so that is compassion and so on. The Rataha, they are just they are very well disposed towards the well-being of others. Sarva bhuta hit sarvesham hitarataha. So hiterataha. So well-being. They are compassionate to all beings. Their being harsh sometimes is part of that compassion only, correct? If they have uttered a harsh word somewhere, that means that person deserved it and that person requires it for his own, her own well-being. Therefore, sarva bhuta hiterataha does not mean keeping quiet all the time. Compassion manifests. Even a mother, all of your parents, you know this very well. Sometimes the mother or father will not accept. Did you lie or not? This is all I want to know. Why you did it and all, you don't tell me. Did you lie or not? Yes, I lied. That is not acceptable. You have to find a way to counter this thing. You lied to your friend or you lied to your teacher, it's not acceptable. That's it over. So harsh, appears very harsh. Until you do it, you're not going to have food in this house. Okay? Very harsh. Very harsh. But a lesson is there waiting for this boy or girl. If that boy wants to learn, person will do it, maybe grudgingly, but later on that person will say, thanks to my mother, I today am comfortable. I'm happy because I followed Dharma. Correct? What a statement to make, right? And so, so anyway, so that is Sarva Bhuta Hiterataha. And Te Prapnuvanti Mameva. Very interesting. Those such people, those Akshara Brahma Upasaka, Prapnuvanti, gain Mameva. They gain me alone. They gain me alone. Okay? So, we have moved on from this Paroksha Ishvara. So, gaining me alone is not question of going to Swarga, etc. We've come out of that. And so, me alone they gain. So, being right here, living exactly wherever he or she is living, okay, that person gains me. Okay? Means what? Hey, that person is a way of saying, you can't gain Brahma, really speaking, because you are Brahma. Not possible to gain me. And you can't become another person because you are this person. How can you be another person? And you can't even be another person. How can you become Ishvara? Ishvara is infinite. So you can't become Ishvara. Finite cannot become infinite. Not possible. Finite cannot gain the infinite. Not possible. Not possible. Why? This gaining is what? Is it one of the types of 4 types of karma phalam? So, utpadyam, apyam, vikaryam, samskaryam. Here is apyam. Prapnuvanti. Prakarshena apnuvanti iti. So, apyam is a karma phalam. So, is this karma phalam? No, it is not. Then what is this gaining? This gaining has to be recognition that I am not separate from you. I am the whole. Today in the meditation, we did that. It's called I am the whole. That idea was brought in today. And so therefore, te prapnuvanti. So Upanishad is constrained to use the word prapnu. Bhagavad Gita. Brahma vida apnoti param. Brahma with the knower of Brahma. Apnoti gains or reaches Brahma. Reaches Brahma. Hey, that's pretty cool. It's without any ticket, you can reach Brahma. That's a nice thing. But this is apnoti Brahma is what? By knowing Brahma, I become Brahma. By knowing who I am, I become who I want to be. I'm also always searching for something. I want to be something. I want to be something. I want to be something. Finally, this search for becoming stops because I have found what I want to be. And how did I find it? by knowing that I am what I was seeking, correct? And without knowing that, I have been searching all over. Okay. And jnani tu atmaiva me matam, like that Krishna had said earlier. And so only here, only in Advaita Vedanta, such a statement can be made. You and I are identical right here. You don't have to die in order to figure it out. You don't have to die and go to some place in order to figure it out. Right here, you can figure it. That is how you have all these bhaktas, Mirabai and so forth. Big list of people are there. Bhakti, they highlighted bhakti. Because that language was something people could understand those days and any day. And so, therefore, bhakti, they highlighted that bhakti. And so, and Krishna therefore says, Jnani tu chaturvida bhajante ma. Among that, Jnani is my favorite, he says. Really speaking, Jnani is not separate from Ishvara. So really, Krishna cannot even point to Jnani and say he is my favorite. That because pointing means pointing here. No pointing is possible. Therefore, Shankaracharya in his commentary, look at what he says. Natu tesham vaktavyam kinchit. What to say about these people? Nothing is there to be said. It's tesham kinchit vaktavyam nasti. Nothing is there to be said. Oh, game is over. Last whistle has been done. Whatever prize you want to give, you give it. This fellow is not interested in any prize also. And so game over, he says. Natu tesham vaktavyam kinchit. And so, therefore, what is this comparison? It's like somebody asking. Somebody just graduated and found a job. From college, graduated, found a job. Who is greater? The guy who just graduated and found the job, or the guy in second year of college? Who is greater? Obviously, such a question, nobody asked that question. Nobody asked the question because it's an irrelevant question. It's a ridiculous question. Oh, there is no comparison between these two at all. So, but Krishna doesn't use those words. It's ridiculous. You can't compare. Both are important. All that he doesn't say. He's putting it in those words. He's saying those Saguna Brahma Upasakaha are the greatest. In fact, the second year college going person is great. He's the greatest actually. But the guy who graduated gets a job. Like that he says. So why does Krishna say this then? How can he say that the first Saguna Brahma Upasakas are greater? Hey, he says that because compared to all other people, that person is greater, no doubt. Because you have to be a Karma Yogi first. Then you have to appreciate, you have to have Shraddha in that Ekarupa. Ekarupa Bhakti has to develop. Then it has to become Vishwarupa Bhakti. Vishwarupa
Loka Sangraha Mevapi. Loka Sangraha Mevapi.
So Loka Sangraham, yeah, okay. So Loka Sangraham has to come, and that will come slowly only. That in fact, it takes some time. So much is there. Therefore, that person he's worked very hard and come this long. And therefore, compared to those people that are following him, he is the greatest. Okay, not compared to the Jnani. He's not comparing. The question is, who are you comparing? Krishna doesn't say that. And so, Kunja Swamiji reminds us that, okay, compared to those people, he is greatest. But then the Akshara Brahma Upasakas gain me like that. Krishna says here. Okay, so let's translate this Shlokas number 3 and 4. Okay, in 3, there is the verse starts with Yetu, those who, and then in mantra number 4, Te prapnuvanti, they gain me, like that. The sentence is going to go. Okay, so let's do this. Having complete mastery over the group of sense organs, having complete mastery over the group of sense organs, comma, being even-minded towards all, being even-minded towards all, comma, and being interested in the welfare of all beings, okay, and being interested in the welfare of all beings, comma, some contemplate upon, some upasakas, you can say, some upasakas contemplate upon that which is not subject to decline, contemplate upon that which is not subject to decline, comma, which is not definable, comma, means which is not amenable to definition, which is not definable, comma, unmanifest, comma, all pervading, comma, not an object of thought, comma, um, um, unchanging, or sometimes I use the word immutable for that, but I don't use that just because some people may not know the meaning of that word. So not changing, comma, immovable, immovable, and eternal. Full stop. Next sentence, they attain me alone. They attain me alone. So here that eva, alone means what? Eva. Te prapnavanti mam eva. That eva, if it is put in after the te eva mam prapnavanti, or te mam eva prapnavanti. Do you see the difference? They alone attain me. They attain me alone. Both will end up being the same thing, but be prepared to look at it both ways. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.